They filled themselves with metamaterials and nanotechnology so that they can be shady gods amongst other humans. And maybe that's why they don't want to talk about what they are really doing with the BioDigital convergence. Because everything they are doing with this BioDigital convergence is all about bioengineering humans with soft robotics known as sensors so that they get their bioinformatics so that other people are able to upgrade themselves.
An introduction to BioDigital convergence. BioDigital convergence. Convergence of engineering, nanotechnology, biotechnology, information technology, and cognitive science. Note 1 to entry. Convergence means the creative union of sciences, technologies, engineering, and peoples. Focus on the mutual benefit. This is a process requiring increasing integration across traditionally separate disciplines, areas of relevance, and across multiple levels of abstraction and organization. BioDigital convergence, a 20-year-old concept. It says it right here. It's a 20-year-old concept. And you can see nano, bio, info, and cogno. In the context of biodigital convergence, the phrase convergent technologies refers to the synergistic combination of four major NBIC, nano, bio, info, cogno, provinces of science and technology, each of which is currently progressing at a rapid rate. A. Nanoscience and nanotechnology. B. Biotechnology and biomedicine, including genetic engineering. C. Information technology, including advanced computing and communications. And D. Cognitive science, including cognitive neuroscience. IT has changed a lot in the last 20 years, and it definitely has. A systems engineering view of biodigital convergence. Reverse engineering. How digital technologies are turbocharging the reverse engineering, deep understanding of biological systems and systems of systems. And here is your beautiful timeline of life evolution on Earth. Reverse engineering of life. Here are our living systems. We have genomics, transcriptomics. Does anyone know what transcriptomics is? Let's Google it. Transcriptomics is the study of all RNA molecules in a cell or organism, collectively called the transcriptome. It provides a snapshot of which genes are being expressed, turned on, at what level, offering insights into a cell's function, its response to environmental factors, and the molecular mechanism behind diseases. Modern techniques, primarily RNA sequencing, allow for high-throughput, genome-wide analysis of gene expression. Proteomics. What's that? Let's go back to Google and let's look it up. Proteomics is the large-scale study of proteins, including their structure, function, and modifications within a biological system. Once again, you are a biological system. It is a complex and dynamic field that analyzes the proteome, or the entire set of proteins produced by an organism, which is crucial for understanding biological processes, diseases, and developing new drugs and therapies. So they are working with your proteins. Then they have metabolomics. Let's go back to Google and look it up. Metabolomics is a scientific study of all the small molecules, metabolites, in a biological sample, which provides a snapshot of the cell's or organism's physiological state. It is used in various fields, including disease diagnostics, pharmaceutical research, and agriculture, and is often combined with other omics fields like genomics and proteomics for a more complete picture. The study uses techniques such as mass spectrometry and nuclear magnetic resonance to identify and quantify thousands of metabolites simultaneously. Now let's go back here. So they are working with your DNA, RNA, proteins, biochemical, and biological phenotype. How much information? For a human, they have genome, proteome, metabolome, and microbiome. And here's their cost per genome data in August of 2020. Forward engineering. How digital technologies are turbocharging the engineering of biological systems and systems of systems, enabling bioengineering. And here's bioengineering. We have synthetic biology, biotechnology, bioinformatics, cybernetics, bionics, genetic engineering. Looking over here, you have biosensors, computational biology, BMI, systems engineering, ecology, bioethics. And what do we have here? Transcriptomics, genomics, proteomics, and epigenetic. You see, it literally says human augmentation. And obviously it's for your health and medicine, which has human body on a chip, artificial organs, cyborgs, biobots. The biobots are also called xenobots, which we learned about in episode 58 for those who want to review it. They are at Harvard and they reproduce on their own. You can see here it says exoskeleton, environmental monitoring, GMO. Does that sound familiar? Cellular agriculture and molecular farming. IEC, Standardization Evaluation Group. The purpose of the Standardization Evaluation Group is to assess systems, including several technologies, that are normally covered by the work of more than one technical committee. SEGs are set up both to evaluate new technology areas and to look at existing systems and technologies. SEGs are mandated to define a system and its scope, identify all impacted stakeholders, pinpoint relevant technical committees, existing standards and gaps, propose architectures and roadmaps. The SEG will publish the results of its work so that it can be reviewed by all interested parties. SEGs invite the involvement of many experts, including those who do not yet participate in the IEC work. SEGs don't coordinate the technical work between different TCs. This is the role of the Systems Committee. So as I've been saying, these are jobs that people go to every day. The scope. Investigate current research and technology activities, identify critical challenges, and propose a roadmap for standardization in the area of biodigital convergence. Ensure close cooperation with and encourage the participation from MSB. Engage with TC, SC, and the Systems Committee, including JTC1 and ISO, as well as with other marked and policy-relevant organizations, on existing standards and on the need for future standards related to biodigital convergence, and to formulate recommendations to SMB as appropriate. The structure. WG1, communications, synthesis, and addition of report. WG2, reverse engineering of living systems. WG3, life systems and bioengineering. WG4, human augmentation technologies. WG5, agricultural bioengineering. WG6, environmental bioengineering. W7, biodigital social, risks and ethical aspects. AG8, convener advisory group. On the left side, you have biology and your WG2, which, as we just read above, is reverse engineering of living systems. And they work with your transcriptomics, your genomics, your proteomics, your epigenetics. And this is all part of the synthetic biology and biotechnologies of bioengineering. Then you look at the right side, which is your WG3, informatics. As we read above, WG3 is life systems and bioengineering. You have your bioinformatics, the biosensors, biodata science, computational biology, biomems. Now we start to move into the engineering, which is system engineering, bionics, biomechanical engineering. And on the lower left, we have WG7, which, as we read above, is BioDigital social, risks and ethical aspects, which is also part of bioethics. Now we're looking again at human augmentation. In the upper left, you have your WG4, which is human augmentation technologies. The exoskeleton, cyborg, biobots, biohacking. Underneath it is the WG3, which is life systems and bioengineering, and it's your organ on a chip, your human body on a chip, your bioelectronics. On the top right, we have WG6, which is part of the environmental bioengineering. As it says here, you have environmental monitoring, geoengineering, and your smart cities. And under it, we have WG5, which is agricultural bioengineering. It includes your smart farming, your GMO, cellular agriculture, and molecular farming. And as always, their excuse is that it's always for your health and well-being. Here we have clean water, life below water, life on land, zero hunger, sustainable cities and communities, climate action, responsible consumption and production. SEG is a time box project. Fixed delivery date, 18 to 24 months. Will document known areas that were not explored or explored adequately and recommend how to pursue the work. Work is progressing as planned, and here are their current deliverables and their planned deliverables. Vocabulary/glossary, base document for future work. Cover bioengineering as well as relevant engineering and IT terms. Their current version is 1.4, which has 51 bioengineering terms and 34 engineering and IT terms. If you want to know more about these systems, I suggest you memorize their vocabularies and the terms that they use when they talk amongst themselves. Future version will be expanded to include terms and concepts identified by the WGs. What is the Green Paper Technology Report? It's a freely available IEC technology report. It will cover all technical areas and ethical and social issues. And it will include a vocabulary/glossary. Working group scope. You have the first working group, the second working group. Here's the third working group, life systems and bioengineering. BioDigital standardization opportunities in life systems and bioengineering. This includes biosensors, biometrics, biofoundries, bioprocessing, biofuels, drug discovery and engineering, synthetic biological circuit, metabolic engineering, genetic engineering, artificial life, organ on a chip, and artificial organs. And here you have nanotechnologies, 3D printing and scanning, biometrics, measurement and control devices, biotechnology, European Organ on a Chip Society, and the Organ on a Chip Focus Group. Augmentation technologies, biodigital standardization opportunities in the area of human augmentation. This includes brain-machine interfaces, digital hardware enhancement, ubiquitous and continual monitoring, enhanced strength, enhanced sensing, embodied computing, ambient intelligence, and biohacking. Out of curiosity, let's click on this link. Here is your human augmentation technology. On the right side, you have the IEEE, and the very first thing you see is the IEEE 802 working group. And if we hover over it, you can see the 802.15.3, 802.15.4, 802.15.6, 802.15.8 IEEE standard for wireless MAC IDs at the physical layer. Then they have the standard for their virtual realities and augmented reality, engineering and medicine and biology. As you can see, health informatics. The IEEE has their human augmentation working groups. Here are the exoskeletons, the connectivity standards, which have your smart energy, Zigbee. Okay, let's go back for now. So they continue talking about all their bioengineering. Here they have their omics. Here we have synthetic biology, a new, emerging multidisciplinary field that seeks to create new biological parts, devices, and systems, or to redesign existing systems for useful purposes and applications. It literally says new biological parts. If you look at this image, it says design, learn, build, and test. And the last time I checked, 5 years ago, everybody got their graphene healthcare, which made them even more accessible to the metamaterials. ISO Foresight Trend in 2022, Science and Synthetic Biology. So again, we are inside this huge paper with standards that are proper globally. They can share information without going to war. Standards needed, and here are the tools. Necessary tools: biological part repository, genome editing, fundamental raw materials, DNA, RNA, protein synthesis, model organism, and enzyme. In the software, we have part design software, biofoundry, and machine learning. In the hardware, we have microfluidic chip, high throughput, and automation equipment. And in the application, products and services, we have health and clinical, which is gene therapy and pharmacy development. And we have agriculture and food, which is biological pesticide, food and beverage. The key factors in synthetic biology in the design are part repository, in silico design tools, and data mining. The sources are computer-aided tools and databases. And the standardization potentials are at an early stage and are also mature. The key factors in synthetic biology to build are nucleic acids, DNA/RNA, peptides, amino acids, and proteins. And the sources are nucleic acids, genome synthesis, peptide synthesis, and protein engineering/design. And its standardization potentials are at a mature stage. The key factors to test and apply are in vitro, such as cloning and assembly, in vivo, measurements like omics and functions, and screening and automations. PCR ligation, homologous recombination, sequencing, colony picking, and liquid handling. And its standardization potentials are already at the mature stage. I'd like to point out the standardization potentials. They are all in the mature stage, and this is because they have been busy working with it. Here they talk about neuroscience. Here is the bioelectric nose. which we'll cover in the next episode. Human digital twins. We talked about digital twins in episode 23 and episode 30. This is the data integration workflows for a digital human twin. Measure data, process data, collect and integrate, model, simulate, which has a simulation, and back to measure data. Here are the recommendations and standards for data integration, model validation, and legal and ethical issues. Formats for computational models on humans. Systems biology markup language. The system's biology, so it used to be HTTP, which is Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Now, it's biology markup language, which is just different routing languages to know which networks to turn on. Meta standard for data formatting, description, reporting, integration, and sharing. Catalog of criteria and requirements for life science data formats and semantic data description as prerequisites for a framework of interoperable standards. These are iOS standards. So if you're somebody from computer networking or engineering, I'm going to ask you, why are you just sitting there telling everybody nothing? Accept what a hero you are, controlling the scalar down to the molecules with an app on your phone, and playing dumb with the rest of us. Artificial organs and organoids. We have an artificial heart, a bioartificial liver, and a 3D printing liver. If you got a bad liver, don't worry, we'll just 3D print you a new one. And this has already been done. Here's DARPA. DARPA successfully transitions synthetic biomanufacturing technologies to support national security objectives. Living Foundries. 1,000 Molecules Program, testing and evaluating partners from 3 military branches to continue advanced technology development. And we have the same, learn, design, build, and test. In build, we have automated genetic construct assembly, insert DNA into cells. In test, we have DNA sequencing. Back to our PDF file. And let's keep scrolling. Here they talk about CRISPR. Here they talk about the convergence of bio and digital technologies in agriculture. This has everything to do with their smart farming. And last but not least, we have future developments. Improvements in managing and understanding huge genomic and sensor datasets. Integration of teams of data scientists, statisticians, and biologists. Interoperability of sensor and other data, and between systems for timely on-the-farm decision-making. Resolution of data ownership issues in sensing, machinery, blockchain, etc. Blockchain technology increases transparency, but can it be used to model and improve supply chain behavior? People are used to NASA. They thought they were going to the moon, but all the satellites are pointing down here for at-home healthcare to watch you walk through your house. And if you have an implantable, you're even more accessible. Or the biological digital convergence. Nobody opts out because it's biosphere, and they've already augmented the atmosphere and tested all this in the hospitals. That's your Internet of Medical Things, which is using the air, the wireless. What do you see here, circled in red? Cyborg. And what do you see to the left of cyborg? Human augmentation, good health, and well-being. And here is the market share for having enhanced intelligence, enhanced sensing, disease-free bodies, sports optimization, digital hardware enhancements, enhanced strength, increased attractiveness, optimized diet, extreme aging, digital biometrics, and ubiquitous and continual monitoring under the skin. Yeah, cybersecurity. See, where it says human, it says cyber, physical, biological to digital, and back again.